Oh, hey, I got my schedule done.
And we're here to talk about
our vacation.
Our vacation. We're
Vacation, all I ever wanted. Vacation out to get away. Vacation, dun 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 dun.
And yeah, we did that. And
how I would subtitle it is why vacations suck or expensive or whatever.
But more specifically, our vacation on a boat that was expensive. And how expensive? Well, it's as expensive of a boat as you can get. It's a there's probably more expensive boats, but it was a cruise ship, is what it was. I'm saying a cruise ship.
It was a little bougie. It was a little bougie.
Yeah, it was a little bougie. We've never been on a cruise ship before, although this was like a more budget cruise ship.
It's a budget cruise ship, but we'll get into that a little bit.
We'll get into that in a little bit, but we got into the budgety of the bougie there by going on this budget cruise ship. And we went with family, and
we went to Alaska.
We went to Alaska, and yeah, we're going to talk about our experience with it.
How did that state in the United States or something?
So yeah, if y'all want to learn about like what it's like as a first-time cruise going experience, as opposed to like hearing it from like people who just go on cruises.
People don't know,
or whatever. People don't know, and yeah, hopefully you guys know who we are, and we're young. You're young people as opposed to like people who are like
we're getting old.
Yeah, we're getting old.
We're gonna get Indiana Jones old.
Oh boy, Indiana Jones old. Like
this first movie, not the last movie.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. Oh man, speaking of which. But anyway, we're gonna go on our cruise today, and let's get this document on this screen. So yeah, let's blow this up. Ooh. It's bigger, nice, and more legible.
What font is that?
This, I don't know, it's the default Notion font.
The Notion font.
So this is Notion, and this is our entry for today. I will share this later. If you want to follow along, maybe I could share it now, actually. Let's share it now.
Following along, and we are fancy free.
Yeah, all that. How do I share?
While he's doing that, I'll just topic of the day: Alaskan cruise.
Live on
the main feature.
Copy this link, and you can follow along. Follow along here. And also just some brief gaming news. There's a bunch of crazy stuff happening.
There's even the thing on BuzzFeed, right, with Vivek.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff in the world in general, but more games related to Twitch and stuff.
And a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of elections this year just because the friggin' UK just said, let's have an election.
Yeah. And then on top of all that, IGN acquired Gamer Network.
Which is like every website.
Yeah.
I followed all these websites and I hated IGN and they were the counter IGN, then IGN bought them.
Yeah, IGN is a division of Ziff Davis that includes IGN, Map Genie, How Long to Beat, and Humble Bundle.
How Long to Beat I like, yeah.
How Long to Beat, yeah.
IGN I like the walkthroughs. I prefer using other walkthroughs, but they're pretty decent walkthroughs.
And it also includes Humble Bundle, which is...
I guess a lot of this material they could use on like the Pluto TV channel and stuff too, like Eurogamer's YouTube channel and stuff.
Yeah.
They put on Pluto TV.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things they could do with it. But they're just snatching it up, and yeah, but like, before we say even all that, like, oh, there's a great opportunity, like, what they're doing, they acquired Gamer Network, which included GamesIndustry.biz, Eurogamer, including 6 local language editions, Rock Paper Shotgun, VG 24/7, and Dicebreaker. That's their like tabletop
Oh, okay.
and board game, card game coverage. And business also holds Outside Xbox, Digital Foundry, and Hookshot, which operates Nintendo Life, Push Square, Pure Xbox, and Time Extension. And as a result of all that, they're doing a lot of redundancies, which means
I was about to applaud because like you were able to finish that all in one breath.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This is very sad
this is
news.
very sad news because there's a lot of redundancies even amongst people that I follow and a lot of people who know people who are affected by it.
So here's something I forgot to look up.
Very dark times in the game industry. And
Or journalism in
game
general.
Journalism and journalism.
Or
in
just
general.
journalism in general.
And
How
news in
did
general.
Gamer Network end up acquiring all these other things?
Yeah,
Isn't that itself?
that itself is also its own story, right? I don't know what's going on there exactly.
Yeah.
It's
IGN
pretty
used to
amazing.
own, ended up buying like Humble Bundle 7 years ago or something.
Yeah, not included. It has acquired the websites from
confusing, yeah.
PAX and New York Comic Con organizer ReadPop, which initially bought the Gamer Network business in 2018. So ReadPop is behind New York Comic Con here in New York, which we recognize from all their like things. I wish we had something ready to just
I guess
show
like
that.
Paramount owns comicbook.com also. Never like
Right.
comicbook.com is the fandom journalism websites and
Right,
some of this other stuff.
right.
Fandom, I guess, is a big one also.
Yeah, that's another one. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with all this stuff.
Well, it
People
doesn't
acquire
get
stuff.
too split up
Yeah.
or too combined.
Other
Or
news.
be more split up.
Other news from GameDeveloper.com. Rolling Stone is back with another gaming vertical. They did one before, now they want to go into games again. But interestingly enough, they have help from the Saudi Wealth Fund.
WWE is also doing talks with Saudi Arabia to bring WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia.
So so like there's a lot of funding. Launched a partnership with ESL Faceit Group, which is owned by Saudi state-backed investment fund PIF.
You know what? After talking about all this, maybe I don't feel that bad talking about Princess Cruises or whatever cruise that we were on.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that's happening in the world, but we are on vacation, so let's focus on that.
And that itself was a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with it, and as a result, it was our first cruise ever. We'd go again, but as a result, we're not going to disclose names and people and stuff. Everyone did a great job though, but it was.
Those salespeople.
There's a lot of stuff going on with the cruise, but before we even get into all that, let's just kind of get a little preview of what it can be kind of like going on a Princess Cruise with this trailer.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some music to it that we'll have to explain a little bit, but let's check out this trailer.
Yeah. Bro, it's like short length.
Yeah, nice and short, so let's check it out.
It's a minute length of a short. It's a little casino. I don't know what city this is.
Oh, that's good, catchy music.
Yeah.
And then there's the sled dogs.
We'll get into that a little bit later.
Lobster. Casino. The guy in the casino outside went to the casino inside the cruise ship. He just went from one casino to another casino.
Yeah. Some interesting stuff about that.
Pools and spas, scuba diving.
Excursions.
Oh, seeing
Seeing
a
a
whale.
whale.
That whale jumps really high. A nice drink. A nice
We
show.
did see a whale, but
Come feel the love, Princess Cruises. So that's all the stuff you could possibly see on a Princess Cruise. We did
Asterix.
see asterisk.
the words of the cruise director, asterisk.
We did see a bunch of that.
We also didn't see
We
certain
also did
things.
see certain things, and we saw a lot of other things as well.
We saw something that wasn't at the cruise. It was during something else.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that could happen on a cruise, but that will give you some idea of what can happen on
Yeah.
cruises. So we did. So our cruise, just to get into like what even happened and what the plan was.
Yeah.
Our cruise left from Vancouver and came back to Vancouver after like 7 days at sea,
Yeah.
And the trip was that it would go from Vancouver up the west coast of
Up the Pacific
Canadian
Ocean,
British Columbia on the Pacific Ocean, up the Canadian coast to Alaska.
Yeah.
And then we would go visit some sites in Alaska.
You
and
can
come
see
back
that
to
like when
Canada.
you're like buying the tickets for the Sugar Low map.
Yeah, and we're based in New York, so we took a flight over to British Columbia, checked out Vancouver a bit, saw some of the sites there, and then went on this cruise. And we checked out a couple cities, Vancouver, then we saw Juneau, Skagway, Glacier Bay, Ketchikan, and blah blah, and also checked out some days at sea, and that's about it. But
Day
no,
one.
there's definitely a lot of stuff that happens each day. There's lots to do on the ship, off the ship. We're getting into all of that. So that's the basic flow of how this is working out. So just to give a preview.
Did you want to talk about like getting to the port and then how long we had to wait before the ship would actually sail?
Yeah, we could do that. I was gonna get into the ship and exploring the ship, but before we even explore the ship, let's just talk about like what's like when we first got on the ship and stuff. So yeah, here's this discreet photo I took while we were in the security line, and there was a lot of lines just to get on the ship.
But they were very smooth. Like I've heard reports where like people were waiting there for like 4 hours and stuff, but like this is like pretty much instantaneous. And you have to sign up for the medallion, and they give it to you if they haven't mailed it to you, if in case you're worried about that. And the medallion made a lot smoother, yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty smooth. We did have to go through, and we will get to the medallion when we talk about technology and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was key to this experience, and I think it was unique to Princess Cruises.
Yeah.
But this what was this? This
There's a further line. I don't think people were complaining about how long the line was.
There's a lot of flow of lines. We got there fairly early.
Yeah.
And so as a result, the lines moved pretty quickly. We had to check passports. We had to do security checkpoints. We had to check in our luggage and stuff.
We had to get our luggage.
We had to get our luggage. But overall, like, it was pretty smooth. I guess I recommend getting there early. And
I thought we were on time, but like, we just didn't leave or whatever. It was sort of weird.
Yeah, because they had to get everybody on. But also, like, it's a big port.
They have to get the luggage on too, which takes a while.
There's a lot of people checking people on and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was pretty smooth. It took a lot of effort to make it that smooth, I guess. And I don't know. Medallions made it smoother, I guess. And
like before I got on the ship, I thought we were going to sail right away, like a Staten Island ferry or something. Like you have to wait there for a long time, actually.
Yeah, they had to get the rooms ready. That was a big.
Oh yeah, like we couldn't go into the rooms right away. Also.
Yeah, we showed up at the room and they're like, "Oh, it's not ready yet, sir.
Can't go there.
So sorry, don't go there."
Where did we go? Like inside the room when that was happening?
We went to the buffet, I think, and we had our luggage with us.
Yeah.
At the buffet, so we had to hold on to that for
No, I think that was on the way back. I think on the way there, we went to the buffet because the luggage, like, they had to like bring to our rooms.
I think we had our luggage with us that we brought to the room.
Oh, really?
That's what I recall.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find a photo of this. So yeah, here's the food we were getting. I don't know if I have footage of us with our luggage. Yeah, I know. I think when we were eating this meal, so I think we had our luggage with us. And we were just chilling, waiting for the room to get ready. And then at 1 o'clock the
rooms are ready.
The rooms are ready. They announced it.
I remember coming, they were telling you 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. And then I remember seeing the guys, like, in the luggage rooms, like, taking the luggage out and bringing it to the rooms was the thing.
Yeah, I think if, like, you checked in a certain amount or something. Yeah. And then, plenty of time to check out the buffet in the meantime.
That was good food. That was a good preview of the food that was good to come.
Yeah, so we explored the buffet and stuff, and then we can explore the rest of the ship throughout our time there. Yeah. And that was a big highlight. The buffet, all the restaurants, and then we also checked out lounges, bars, cafes. We didn't know what they were going to be like. But we checked out where the theaters were, where the Fine Arts Gallery was.
Yeah.
the spa, the pools, the fitness center we figured out later.
Oh.
And there's like even more stuff. Mini golf, cornhole, basketball. There's just tons and tons of stuff to check out on the ship. Here's the deck plans on the website on princess.com. And like, here's what the deck looked like. Here's like deck 7, which had a lot of the stuff. Here's the theater. There's like lifts and restrooms and bars and gastropubs and shops and more bars. And here's the piazza.
I feel like the restrooms didn't have enough stalls. Also, they were a little different from the ones in the room.
Yeah.
In terms of like water and stuff.
Yeah.
How they're set up.
Yeah, but like, yeah, this is like a sprawling thing where like, you know, Deck 7 has a ton of stuff and you can walk through it and just like kind of wander around. It's kind of nice when it's quiet and stuff. And like in the early morning or late at night, you can wander around all this open space before things are set up or quiet.
Oh, that's very good, almighty yours guy.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. The prize is guaranteed to be lower. You know, that's great. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so let's see,
it's good. Like that always brings us the moment. And yeah.
Oh yeah, here's the chat. All right. Yeah, it's good. It reminded me to show the chat because I was like, oh, why didn't that show up in the chat?
Oh yeah.
But a good thing.
You don't have
like
to
I
see
said
it now.
before the chat showed up, so that's good.
Yeah.
So we got a spammer. Anyway.
Also, the chat's not set up, I guess. So
Yeah.
I guess we don't need it. We'll just talk, I guess.
Yeah, and then, you know, here's the sprawling stuff for... Oh, yeah, the casino, the shops, the piazza and stuff.
Yeah.
So you will see all this. It's kind of hard to visualize this, but, like, as you can see, the general idea you can get is that it's a sprawling ship with all this stuff laid out, and you can just get lost with navigating how to get from place to place.
It took me the 3rd day to get used to it. I hear from other people, like...
Yeah.
The Ruby Princess actually has a much easier and Princess in general has a much easier setup, room wise and bar wise and all that stuff compared to like other cruise lines.
Yeah, this seems like a pretty convenient setup. Like you know, like most of the actions on 6 and 7. You want to get food and pools.
15
and
slice
like a couple
and
of snacks,
coffee and
stuff.
cannons.
There's a couple of snacks. You go to 15,
and then a little higher you can go to like
if you
what do you call it? Fitness room and like mini golf and all that sports stuff.
Yeah, if you want the fitness center and
then
the spa and like here's a bar, here's this movie theater, here's pools, here's this
they actually have a theater spot, right? We kept going from the pool, but like there's actually a spot we could sit.
Yeah, it took us a couple. Even though this was our first cruise, it took us a couple days to figure out the layout. But once we figured out the layout, we felt like we knew it pretty well and we could navigate it pretty well. And that was partly in thanks to the apps and technology we were using.
Yeah.
And also the wonderful staff.
Yeah. They were really helpful. Like if they would even walk you if you really got lost. Yeah.
Yeah. So should we talk about the technology or the staff first? Let's talk about the staff first. Let's make this people focused, and then we'll talk about the technology because the workers are doing a great job. The customer service was great all around.
Except for when they sell you the tickets.
Yeah, except when they sell you the tickets and they try to do sales, that's when they get really aggressive. But other than that,
they get really aggressive and like they sort of overcharge and stuff. That said, like everyone else is fine.
Yeah, everyone you deal with on the ship, who's like helping, who's like cleaning, who's like, you know,
there's so much cleaning involved on the ship. Everyone's cleaning 24/7.
Yeah, and all the people doing service, like making sure all the plates are cleared, I saw sometimes there'd be no one around.
Yeah.
The window would be fine, but somebody's like cleaning the window like on their own. I'm like, whoa, they really keep a tight ship here, so to speak.
The rooms they cleaned it very spot on.
Yeah, it was like they were very thorough with that.
Extremely thorough, maybe a little too thorough.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then like I think someone in our party was like chatting up someone who was working there, and like they're at sea 9 months of the year, 7 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day.
I think it might have been part of her family when I asked that.
Part of her family when I asked that, and then it was 12 to 14 hour days, and then some of them have night shifts because it's a 24-hour thing because you don't leave there, so you're there all the time.
24 or 12 to 14, 7 job.
Yeah, for 9 months out of the year. What they do the rest of 3 months? Like, they're probably just resting. It's like spring break. It's like their equivalent of summer vacation, where they get to
I guess
just...
they visit.
And
like,
they
home
probably
or
visit
whatever.
family and human beings that just aren't the same...
Our customers,
same customers
now surrounding them.
Just aren't customers and aren't the same crew people that they're trying to not get on each other's nerves because they're working with each other on a ship for 9 months out of the year. So
I remember like my Disney college program. Like, it was only like 4 months at a time. I mean, even then that was pretty stressful.
yeah, this is tough, man. And it's tough for the crew, and it's tough for the performers.
Yeah.
Like I chatted up with one of the performers and I saw their Instagram account,
Oh, yeah.
and she mentioned that like, oh, we're gonna be here until September, and like we did this in May, so they're here for like 5 months or whatever. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a tough gig.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
The dining room service was pretty good, pretty high class. Food was high class.
Yeah, you want to talk about the dining
Even
room?
though it was like free, it felt like you're charging you $100 for like this kind of service. When I worked at Disney, I didn't feel like that experience. Maybe something cheesy like at Primetime Cafe, they make fun of you for like not washing your hands before eating, or like try to figure out another Disney example. Disney was more about theming. They were. I remember they would do like cooking demonstrations, but it'd be like Peruvian like duck and rice and stuff. It won't be anything special like this dining room had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the food was great, and it was all
Like,
hours.
they would cut the lobster. They would like do the flambe. They would do everything.
So the dining room was a top experience, and we just show up at the same time each day with our reservation.
That's
It's a nice
every
performance.
cruise line does that. Which is pretty cool. Yes.
We had the same servers. They're
Which
very.
cruise line does that. Yeah.
Our family.
It was your family. It was like a group of like 50 people.
Yeah,
They would always serve us.
And then like our crew had never really we're not really used to like formal dining and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they were very professional the whole time. Very.
They would give recommendations.
Give recommendations.
Like, people loved the recommendations, and they were really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So we gave a big tip to them. Like,
Yeah.
It was like they took care of
Also,
us.
the menu was like always basically different for at least dinner time, breakfast and lunch. Somewhat similar, but like I feel like dining room was always different. Buffet breakfast was different 5 out of 7 times, and then after a couple times it was the same. Otherwise, the buffet was always different food. I hear Ruby Princess has the best food, or Princess Cruises has the best food, and it was definitely a lot of variety: Indian, Italian. A problem with our crew was like it was mainly Asian, East Asian, and like I don't know if they were used to that kind of food, like Indian or African or Spanish food. But like it was good that I had variety, but it's something I figured I'd point out in case of certain food you like.
Right, but they had a huge variety of things. You find
They had
something.
the chicken congee actually.
They had chicken congee. They had. I mean, like we'll see. We'll show
They
some photos.
actually they had poke for like when the dining room was going, and they would have a lot of that, which I guess would count as that, which is pretty cool.
So yeah, we're gonna get into some photos of the food at some point. Yeah, let me see.
That's a good. Yeah, I like how you set that up. That sets it up perfectly.
And
you go
then-
from customer service to food.
Yeah, let me see. Do we need to get into the technology yet? So yeah, customer service is great. Restaurants are great. Part of what made things so smooth for everything, like with loading onto the ship, with getting all the food, with getting drinks, with dealing with like going to different spaces and
Having them know that you're at,
and keeping track of each other and using the Wi-Fi.
and having them know that you have a reservation at the dining rooms.
Yeah, so like we just walked in the dining room and they're like, "Come on in," and we're like, "Oh, they remember us. That's great." No, they have a tablet in front of them, and we had to wear these things around our necks called medallions. Let me see if I can get one.
There you go.
But
Also, like since you're out your name.
yeah, so like here's the medallions, and
Let me show it again. Yeah.
let's see if we can show this right now.
Yeah, there you go. You can just pause them out, I guess. There's a little wash there. this is good for like room service and there you go, opening your door.
Yeah,
and you won't have to worry about losing your key because it's just around your neck.
Yeah, expedited.
You have to always. It was sort of like when we got off the ship, we were like, "Oh shit, where's the medallion?" But we were off the ship already and done with the vacation. We didn't need the medallion anymore since you were just so used to bringing it around like your keys or whatever.
Right. You're just always reaching for it because it's like your room key. It's also how you order service. It's also how you pay for things. It's how they recognize you.
Yeah.
It's how you get back on the ship when
It's
you're.
like,
When
it was your
don't have
passport too, yeah.
Yeah, if you went off the ship for like Alaska or something to get back on, you just show them your medallion. You don't show a passport or anything.
It was sort of like clear for like airports and arenas, except instead of like putting a chip in your body, it's like something that's like external to your body.
Yeah, and like there must be some sort of like semi-near field communication happening because like you just walk nearby and like the door would open. Or, like,
Yeah, you don't actually have to scan it, is the thing. Like it's like you pass by and then it opens.
Yeah, I think near field might be too close because then you'd have to like hold it really close. But like, yeah, this is what they look like, and like if you just walk within several feet of something, they'll detect you, and then they'll show your face in the profile and they'll recognize you or whatever.
Yeah, it will show on the room handle and stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, here's what two of them look like.
Make sure no names show.
This is mine and Pure PhD's here.
It's opposite, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got you. That's fine.
Yeah. So yeah. Drink some water. So yeah, that's the technology. That's the basic layout of things. Other than that, let's start to go through the schedule a little bit. I think this is good enough setup for like how things were laid out.
I think we talked about the Wi-Fi, but like I feel we're behind, so yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about the Wi-Fi?
There's not much to talk about. It's like I hear it's the best Wi-Fi they had, even though like at sea Wi-Fi isn't the greatest to begin with, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
You always have to deal with like using airplane mode or not using airplane mode, and being at port or not being at port.
Yeah, and I also think the Wi-Fi is how you deal with all the services on the ship. Even if you don't have like internet connection, you can still order things. You can look at the map. You can look at the
You have an
schedules.
internet cafe.
Yeah, and you can also
That only does that stuff.
and
Yeah.
only that stuff.
Oh, of course they can't do anything else with it.
And then, so you should buy the Wi-Fi if you want to do like stuff connecting to outside, which is actually pretty useful and nice.
Yeah.
I think it's.
Oh, you can share the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you can share the Wi-Fi.
Little life hack. If you know someone sleeps a certain hour or doesn't use the Wi-Fi in a certain hour, you just log in and log them out. And then that way you can save on the Wi-Fi costs.
Yeah, you could swap out who's using the Wi-Fi per head or whatever.
So you get just have 4 people using it at the same time, and then swap out. Yeah.
Right, and then and then you pay per head per day.
Yeah.
And I think it starts at like $30 per day.
Yeah.
Just having a couple Wi-Fi heads is pretty useful. Heads for Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Even if you don't pay for Wi-Fi, still bring a phone.
Because when you're at port, like you don't need the Wi-Fi. You just use your normal 5G or whatever.
Yeah, and you'll be.
And they can upload like whatever you need to upload.
Because like we're in Alaska, which is still the U.S., so we could use it there. And then
even in British Columbia, it's fine.
And then
we don't need a phone card for that or anything.
Yeah, and then even on the ship, when I wasn't connecting to the Wi-Fi that would connect me to the land.
Yeah.
Like, I would still use the Wi-Fi for, like, looking at the ship's schedule. They had, like, an internal Wi-Fi network.
Oh, yeah,
all
the websites and the menus and the itinerary and stuff was on there.
Yeah, it was on the Princess app, and like, connecting to the local Wi-Fi network. Like, technically, a Wi-Fi network is just a local network, and then it often connects to the internet. But the way they set up the local Wi-Fi network that you connect to wirelessly is that it connected to the stuff for the Princess app, and then you can look at all that stuff, the itinerary, the schedule, all the events on the calendar, all your reservations. You can order stuff. You can do a lot with it, even without using like external Wi-Fi or whatever. So that was actually pretty useful.
I'm so used to using the Wi-Fi and like that the Princess app that I didn't know like you just check it on you use all that stuff on the TV.
Right, and there's a lot of stuff on the TV.
And I find that up to the end of the thing. You know?
Yeah, the stuff on the TV was cool too. Like they called that the Princess Patter and stuff.
Oh, you mean the TV programs? Yeah.
They had TV programs that are useful too.
Oh, I forgot about the safety video.
Yeah, there's a bunch of safety videos and stuff. So that's something that
When I first saw that, I was like, "Are we gonna crash? This is
No.
Titanic."
no, I mean
And I'm
like,
not
it's-
even thinking like that never happened.
no, it's like in flight. It's like in flight
Yeah, there
safety.
you go,
You know?
yeah.
It's the same equivalent. You know, they're like, okay, in the event of a whatever,
You gotta know your muster station.
you gotta know where to show up. You gotta. For us, like we could watch the initial video on our phones.
And sometimes it wouldn't detect that you watched it, which was the problem.
Yeah, and then the next phase was that we had to show up at the muster station to like watch a presentation.
Yeah.
I think we showed up late to
Yeah.
it, and we just caught the tail end of it, and
Yeah.
we got credit for it or something.
Yeah.
But we figured out where the muster station was, so
Yeah.
I think that was the important part.
Yeah. And I would like they can detect who watches it at the room if you have the medallion inside the room also, which is interesting.
Right. So yeah, I think that's all the baseline stuff. I mean, that stuff's like
Yeah.
it's a little scary when we were watching it for the first time. It's like
Are we gonna crash?
You have to hold your nose and like
I
jump
forgot
off
about
the
that.
ship and stuff. In case
Here's with the
you need to jump out.
if you have to jump out of the boat, yes.
And like,
make sure
no, go to the
only
lifeboats.
bring your hats with you.
Go to the lifeboats. Bring all the basic necessities. And if you it's like pretty scary if you're not used to it, but apparently it's all standard stuff.
Yeah. This is our first.
Safety
This is our first
protocol.
cruise. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is our first cruise, and I don't know. It's like if you're on a plane and they're going through the safety stuff, and everyone's just like tuning out and listening to music or something. They don't pay attention. Okay. So let's just keep moving with this. I think that's all the baseline stuff, and I think we were very impressed with the fact that there's constantly a buffet of basically all waking hours of free food whenever you wanted. So you were the biggest.
It's
fan of
open
that.
to like 9 to 11. It's actually not 24/7, but like I don't know. The actual cafe wasn't. That's fine.
And that's cool that you could always just get free food.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would be a problem
I
if they
actually
kept
did-
charging you for
So
food.
like when our parents told us about Vegas and 24/7 buffets, they're like eat 1 or 2 big meals, maybe one at late night. I didn't eat that much because like there's a lot of variety. I wanted to make sure I wasn't too full.
right.
I want to pace myself because like I found out later like apparently there were people with like these problems where they eat so much and it would lead to health problems and stuff.
Yeah. So
So I did
Yeah.
pace myself very
You got-
well. I would just eat like a little, like one slice of beef and that was it. For each special new thing they made every meal.
it's good to just like instead of like getting too excited with like, oh
This
man,
is
I better
this
eat
is
as
a
much as possible.
7-day, 24/7 buffet.
You don't
almost,
you don't need to eat as much as possible. I think that's like you know when you get excited at first you're like, oh wow,
We're old, man. We don't need to do that.
Now
anymore.
it's like, oh, it's always gonna be there.
Yeah.
So like you can just get whatever you feel that you need. It's almost as if all your basic necessities are met. You don't have to feel like you need to engorge yourself on as much as possible and hoard everything and take everything. There's no scarcity anymore. If you live in a society where there's no more scarcity, people just naturally start to learn how to relax and just take what they need.
I was wondering about this in the beginning of the cruise. I was wondering like, why can't we set this up in like a city or like a town where we just pay a flat fee and then we get this food and then it'd be this good and whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Too bad it has to happen on a luxury cruise or whatever.
There you go,
If only there could be a world like that, Oh well. But anyway, this is another thing. This is the layout. Here's a photo of
the other elevator. So that's something you have to get used to. Not all the elevators go to the same places.
Yeah, like this was like.
I'd be like 80% the same thing.
And we had to get a sense of like what starboard, port, starboard, forward, and aft, and midship were. So forward is forward, aft is the back, port is your left as you're facing forward, starboard is the right side of the ship, and then midship is the middle of the ship. So we developed that over time after enough.
You just remember like which way your room is.
Yeah, we're getting used to that.
Yeah, it's a little confusing to remember where you're going sometimes because like there's so many ways to get to your room. It's not like when you're going home, like the subway station or your car is going a certain way. Like you can enter from any different method, which is disorienting at times.
Yeah, you could be in the. There's like elevators in like 3 parts of the ship and
Yeah.
stuff, and and then they give you little maps and everything,
Yeah.
and so I don't know. After walking around for a while, it's like a video game level. You know, you get used to like walking around the same places over and over for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And so that's a pretty fun part of the process.
Yeah.
Here's
Here's like a thing that has a schedule, and like some of the kids will play like a video game on the thing also.
yeah. There's like little video games and stuff. Here's
It's
a
like be on my score or whatever.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Here was a presentation by the Iditarod lady.
Oh, those some wolves, I guess, yeah. Or some huskies.
Yeah, here's her presentation
Yeah.
about her, about how Alaskan,
Libby Riddles.
the first female Iditarod dog sledding champion.
She would talk to indigenous people about how to survive, and like she always trained her dogs and got a humanitarian award for like to get her dogs more quality in addition to winning the race.
Yeah,
The
and,
first female to win the race.
right. And she talked a little bit. She gave a video, and then she talked a little more. And it's like actually her. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then you could buy a couple books afterwards and get her autograph and stuff. And
No shirts though, no merchandise.
yeah, I think she did have shirts actually.
Oh, she did have shirts? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I put the photos up here of the shirts. Oh, yeah. Why is this? I think this might be out of sequence or something.
Okay.
Refresh. There we go.
Or maybe uploaded it out of order.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
something will load it faster than the others.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I have to.
Or in alphabetical order or something.
What's happening? Okay. Should be backing these up. Oh, I need to add them to the album, is what I gotta do.
Okay.
Yeah, and then here was, oh yeah, Skywalker's nightclub.
That was a lot of fun. Very comfortable. They're way better than like the clubs they have in the baseball stadiums. Very comfortable chairs. A lot of fun to actually dance to. Where like the baseball stadiums won't have anywhere to dance. It's just be advertising for food and drinks and bars.
Yeah,
but not actually fun.
Yeah, they actually try to have a dance floor for it, you know, like a club and stuff, and for like nightlife and stuff like that. But you know, this was okay. Just another baseline thing about this cruise. As I'm saying, nightlife and stuff. This cruise was like
It was.
an older demographic.
It wasn't
family
like
demographic.
NC-17 rated like with new anything or whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't like a singles, like mixer, like swingers cruise or anything like that. This is like older folks and families and stuff like that.
That said, they boogied down a lot.
Yeah,
There's a lot of boogie.
Yeah, and it was like, you know, they had like classic songs and stuff like that.
Songs from the 80s.
Songs from the 70s, the 80s.
They had an 80s night.
Some songs from the 50s on some performances, like
Oh, really?
let me
Oh,
see,
like a jazz night or whatever?
Like with this performer, like he did a rock and roll and
Oh, yeah, he did
blues
like Elvis
review.
or whatever, yeah.
So he did like Elvis and stuff. And,
Yeah, and then second
like-
night was a tribute to Johnny
like,
Cash.
like Chubby Checker and stuff like that.
I still don't know who
Johnny
that
B.
is.
Good, who did Johnny B. Good, done by Chuck Berry.
Which in Back to the Future takes place in 1955.
Yeah, so. yeah, that
Also,
kind of thing.
Colin Barkel did Irish dance and dishes, so that made him stand out.
Yeah.
Give
But-
you a unique performer.
Yeah, here's an example of a meal that like I just want to eat a little bit and I want to have some soup. That's it.
They had like a different curry every day.
Yeah, I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like vegetarian options are labeled and everything. Yeah. And we did see the Northern Lights.
This is Northern Lights. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
There's a river here.
I think like it
Also supposed to be green. It's not purple.
I think Google Photos was doing some compression of this.
Okay.
But yeah, there was.
Breaks your phone, tries to take photos of the Northern Lights.
I did.
We're lucky. Like, actually, it's pretty helpful. The captain made a lot of announcements, which we'll get into in a moment. But yeah, he woke us. Some people were asleep. Like You made an announcement with the normal lights, and people went on the top deck and stuff to take photos.
Yeah, this was visible. I don't know. I got text
Some people
messages
couldn't.
later.
It wasn't visible for some people. Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard to see with the naked eye, and like even when I saw it with like the stuff I was taking photos of, like even though I was looking at the photo after, I was like, this is not what it looks like when I was looking at the sky.
Yeah.
It's because like the phone has like capabilities of like during like night vision, like it'll like do a longer exposure time over like 3 to 6 seconds, and then it'll like automatically triangulate like how to line up the photo exposure over those 3 to 6 seconds. Like even with like dual crosshairs and stuff to show you like, okay, like even if you moved your camera a little bit, we're gonna like automatically calculate those points in the sky that we're gonna line over those 3 to 6 seconds. And then after that, we're gonna composite like as if it was all exposed in a still image, and yeah, it's gonna like make it a very much like, I don't know, like maybe like 100% brighter than it actually looked like in real life. So like even though we saw a little bit of it, it didn't look like this. It looked like maybe like half the amount of like exposure and brightness of like what we saw compared to this. So and like yeah, I have friends that saw this in Seattle and stuff like that. I would learn later. And yeah, it was visible in like New York and other parts of the U.S. too, but just so happened to happen while we were on the cruise on our way to Glacier National Park in Alaska.
That's where it was. Yeah. So let's say.
So yeah, let me see if I can.
Time to. Just have the perfect time for Glacier game would be the best. Best for you.
Yeah. Let me see if I can add these photos. Let me see. Yeah, let me add this to this album. Yeah, maybe we should take a short break and then we'll be right back. We've been talking nonstop for an hour. Let's take a short break.
An hour?
Yeah, it's been almost an hour, 59 minutes.
Okay.
So let's take a short break.
Sure. Should we even like edit like here for first half or whatever? Oh yeah, that's live. I don't know.
That isn't just about one. It's about the rest. Come discover all the rest we have to offer in Pocahontas County, West Virginia.
What if this is a symptom that torments individuals with OCD?
What if I upset someone I love?
What if I have to think only happy thoughts to keep my family safe?
What if I wrote something inappropriate?
What if I get in trouble?
What if I left the stove on?
What if I'm an imposter?
What if I'm always going to be like this?
I hate my intrusive thoughts, but they're not who I am.
But if research brings hope?
There's a new clinical trial investigating a potential treatment for OCD. See if you qualify.
That's true. But after that happens, they did do a Love Boat themed Princess cruise for like a week or something, and you could meet the cast of the characters of the show and stuff. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, this is something we learned after the fact. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, we got into all the nerdy stuff about cruises after this to like learn about the industry and stuff. But yeah, and like as we were embarking, was it? I always mix it up. Disembarking, embarking. This is embarking, embarkation. They had this show with these dancers and stuff.
Embarkations on the boat, disembarkations off the boat.
So, yeah, we got to see all the dancers and performers. And we got to see some of these people later on in the ship and the cruise, but yeah, they sang this song. And here's us in the library checking out the board games. You see them here, you can see they had just some basic board games, like they had Scrabble, Monopoly, Backgammon, chess. This is the library.
There's some interesting books.
There's some Disney jigsaw puzzles and stuff.
Yeah, there's some Disney on the ship. It was not Disney cruise.
Yeah, I mean it's a big brand.
It's Asian American.
That's some interesting books.
That's probably a really nice. I'm sure.
I mean, it's a good book. Take a book thing. So, anybody who contributes a book that adds to the library.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm eating a bean salad right now.
Yeah.
Here's our preview of the Princess Theater, which we'll come see many more times later on.
There was never a time when we wouldn't find a seat.
Yeah,
It's pretty rare.
there's plenty of seats. Yeah,
We always pick the last seat if not. If that wasn't the case.
we get there at a decent time.
It doesn't be that early,
Yeah, it's a big theater, and like there's only maybe less than 2,000 people on the ship who are.
Everyone's going to go to the theater. There's
passengers.
like a whole bunch of stuff going on. You have to eat, etc.
There's
And then
plenty
they
of things
tour the
going
same
on.
show at night, so that helps solve that problem.
Yeah. Can't catch the early one because you got a dinner reservation. You should catch the later one.
Or the dinner reservations, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's our Because they're over the
cosplay guru, Carl Bartasinski, the man who is in charge of MadMaxCostumes.com and one of the founders of the largest post-apocalyptic party in the world, Wasteland Weekend. Oh my dogs, give it up for Carl.
Thank you guys, it's really great to be here. What an amazing panel we have for you today. And what an amazing reunion we have for you today. It's been 35 years since the making of Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior. And it's also been about 35 years since some of these guys have seen each other. So this is a really amazing thing here today. There have been 4 films in the franchise: Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, and of course Fury Road, which came out last year. I still have to say that as awesome as Fury Road was, I still think Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior is still my favorite film of them all. Right? It's just such a classic. It's a post-apocalyptic Western samurai film. It was back in the days when you didn't see a lot of visual effects in films. Everything was done in camera. Just a very, very classic, wonderful film. So, I'm going to begin introducing the actors we have here today. They flew from all over the place: Los Angeles, Australia, the UK. I myself flew from Los Angeles just for this, to be here for this. It's very historic. All right, so our first actor. Introducing Vernon George Wells, who played Wes in Batman Next up, we have Shell Nielsen, who played none other than the Lord Humongous. Next is Emil Minty. You might not recognize him, but he was the feral child in the film. He was only 8 years old at the time. Next, we have the beautiful Virginia Hay, the warrior woman. And last but not least, Bruce Spence, the gyro captain, also Jedediah in Mad Max Beyond Canada. So the way this is going to work, we're going to ask a few questions, and then later on we're going to open it up for questions out in the audience. So think about what you want to ask these guys. I think the first question we're going to ask is, if you guys are all ready. It's been 35 years. What do you all think about what the movie has become over the last 35 years? And what do you think about all the fandom and all of the celebration of the film?
Personally, I think you're all bloody insane. Seriously. I think it's amazing. I don't know about the rest of them, but when we made this film, we thought it was going to be a wonderful little film. Nobody, I think in their wildest imagination, thought that it would become the phenomenon that it became. And it's funny because it works in two ways. To be in a film like Mad Max, like Road Warrior, is an amazing experience. It's an amazing thing to be involved in. The other problem is it becomes this big millstone around your neck that everybody expects that's the only thing you can do. So it's very difficult as an actor for a while to get a job because people are looking at you as Wes, which the only time I'm Wes is on the freeway in Los Angeles. Then I'm very much Wes. But the fans, I adore them. It's really cool to come to shows like this. We get to talk to all you people, find out what you think about us, what you think about the film. And that is really the good thing about it, because without you, we don't have a job. So we owe you a better thanks, and you guys can buy them fucking movies or they come down and get your asses.
Same thing with me, I jumped on the train last year, but I thought the train stopped a long time ago, and here I am in New York, never been here before. It's a fantastic experience. I didn't think that's what happened. Then we started to do the movie, right? And thank you guys for coming in. It must be fucking insane, right? To have my autograph after 35 years. I can't go and see what I'm up to. But thank you. Thank you all. I think one of the reasons that these films have sustained over the years is because we need these stories to be told. Anybody who's read There's a Camp, The Hero with 1,000 Faces, that's the synthesis of all mythological stories that go back to the Greeks and the Romans and so on. And these films are based on that. And we need these stories to be told, just like the Star Wars movies, just like the Lord of the Rings films. These are all stories based on those great mythological stories that have kept people alive. We have a psychological need for this kind of stories, a philosophical background. The moral stories that go through them. And I think that's why we're still here today, because we need them.
I think one of the wonderful things about Mad Max 2, particularly Road Warrior, is that it never aged. And even though it's 35 years old, if you've never seen the movie and you watch it right now, it seems as fresh as the day it was made. There's nothing in it to date it. Bruce said something very interesting last night at the Q&A, that the original Road Warrior was based around petrol. What do you call it again? Gas. Gasoline. Tell us a story.
I think George Miller, the director and also the conceiver of this whole storyline, he's a very prescient man. He looks at the the present world and sees what the future might hold for us. And that's what those early films were based on gasoline being a rare element, something that we fought for, that we were desperate for because we needed that our survival was based on it. Yeah. Our survival was based on it. And today, Fury Road continues that line, except it's no longer gasoline, it's water. And anybody who's familiar with a thing called climate change, that's where George is basing his new trilogy on. Water is the valuable thing. Water is what everybody's fighting for.
I just wanted to add on the first initial question about the fans and how you guys feel here. And I want to thank you guys as well. I was a little character, and I can't believe that when I was 8 years old, that even today, 35 years on, you guys would be here and showing up and get my autograph. And I think it's pretty amazing. It's quite humbling. You know, because you haven't here come up with my autograph for some galaxy out there, and you know, he was just looking at me like, wow, this guy's. I signed an action figure for him, and I said, who's that? And he said, it's you. And I said, I thought it was you, and he was just gazing at me, and I think that's amazing. So a new generation, I don't even think it's anything like his dad was trying to go on. But that's amazing to see that, you know, it's still living on. So that would be future eyes.
We love your support, we love you as our fans. We really appreciate the fact that you still love the trilogy. All before Mad Max movies were often I'm a huge fan too, except for one fan to another fan.
Very nice. So I'm curious, at what point in time was there a specific thing, specific incident that made any of you realize this was no longer just a movie, this was something bigger. This was a whole new genre being opened up, and you were a part of that.
I got there because when somebody phoned me up from Sweden, when I was living in Australia, they wanted to have an interview with me and told me how big it was in Sweden. And when I read in magazines over in Sweden, I was the best actor ever, and I couldn't understand that. Peanuts, like I said, because I wasn't. But at least I wrote it down, not just printed. I wrote magazines, like it was Man's Magazine, right? And it looked up in 100,000 copies, and it went on 2 days, right? It was extreme, right? And the movie was so popular over there, so you couldn't believe it, right? But I didn't know because I was working on my film.
I never wanted to be an actor, to say the truth. And I was a director, and that's where I wanted to stay because I was happy. I realized that Mad Max had become bigger than I would ever be when I got a phone call from America, and they offered me a lot of money to come over and do weird science and play the role again. And to be directed by one of the hottest directors in Hollywood at that time, John Hughes. That kind of made me realize that that little film I'd done in Australia had suddenly become very big. So, you know, and it's gone up from there. My 5 minutes of fame hasn't gone away yet, damn it.
Yeah, I probably realised that a little bit later. About 15 years ago, I went to, we had a reunion back in Broken Hill. It was done by guys. Back to the Max was the reunion. And it was that, when we went back to Broken Hill and went out to certain areas where the movie was shot, and we watched Mad Max 2 in the cinema where it actually premiered. And the turnout there was insane. Not just people from Broken Hill, but fans that came from all over Australia. And that's when I actually went, really, this is still carrying on. And, you know, that was 15 years ago, so that's probably when it really hit me, yeah.
I found that years after, like I stayed in Australia for a number of years, people started to recognise me on the bus and walking down the street. And at first I thought it was sort of weird, but it kept going and going and going. But the first time I had a real sense of the global impact on Mad Max was when I came over to the US in 1999 to do my first convention after leaving Farscape, I was still in Farscape at the time, that's when I realised at the conventions, thousands of people were asking me for Mad Max photos, and I didn't have any with me. And that was when it really impacted, oh my god, this is massive. And it has never stopped.
I haven't got much to say on that, except even now when I go through immigration into America, when the guy at the immigration booth says, "Hey, you're the guy from Mad Max," I think, well, it still benefits.
So obviously, fans gathering at conventions to celebrate movies like this, take pictures with celebrities, get their autograph, that's nothing new. What is rather new on the horizon is cosplay. Recreating the costumes and characters. So I'm curious. When a maniac like myself shows up at your table, what is that like for you? Is that an honor? Is that creepy? How does that feel?
You take that behind the scenes, man. I think it's great, you know. I think it's fantastic, and I did a couple of training things like you really can look like him. That's an honor, right? Because nobody knows I did that match, right? And it's bloody embarrassing to always say, "Hey, it's me, the man behind the mask," right? So I have to tattoo it on my arm, right? At least I have something going for me, but I'm still there. Well, thanks anyway, thank you. You're doing a good job there.
It's a great honour. In fact, there's a warrior woman here today. Where is she? Joe, come here. Look at this. I mean, this is absolutely spot on. It's incredible. It's a great honour. We love it. We absolutely love it. It's such a pleasure. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the hard work you went to.
We white girl. No, she said we love it. I say we. I find it really interesting because it's very rare that I see someone that actually wears the full costume that I wore, which means that they've got the ass. Turn around. Not often they've got their ass bare. Most people tend to cover it, but I think just to have people take the time to make the costume, to wear the costume, is very humbling, because it means that you've affected someone very strongly for them to even want to do that. So I think that is just amazing on their behalf, and you know, it's just very interesting. I think what's even more interesting for me was that I was voted into 5 magazines as one of the top 5 villains of the last 40 years, and I think that is bloody insane.
Yeah, but that year moves on.
It's just ridiculous, but you know what? I'll take it.
That was an intense place.
I understand there were a lot of rewrites during the filming of the script. Is there anything that you remember filming that didn't make it into the final cut?
I remember things they put on the scene when I killed off, what's his name? Papagallo, right? He was supposed to survive. But I was allowed to kill him off, right? So another one by the dust, right? And you see that right hand?
I don't think there was a lot of changes made to the script when we were working. They were mostly made before we started. And there was the end, the beginning and the end were different in the original script to the way we shot it. That was basically about it. And then things on any film change as you're filming simply because situations, sets, whatever. So they have to modify things. That happens a lot, but I don't think there was, Bruce, was there any major changes made?
There's a small change in the chase. At the beginning of the chase sequence, the gyrocopter pilot of which that was not me, crashed the gyrocopter. Luckily he survived and he had to race back. We had another sort of half-assembled one back in Sydney and he had to race back and rebuild that one. And it took him about 2 or 3 weeks. And during that 2 or 3 weeks they still moved on with the chase and shot it. And you'll see there's a little gap where the gyrocopter is not necessarily in the sky, but you'll see there are cutaways to it. So we shot a lot of the cutaways, the separate shots of the gyrocopter later. But there is that little gap there. You don't notice it, but it's there.
Questions? Sure, yeah, we'll take questions in a minute. How do you guys feel about the new film, Fury Road? Do you have any feelings on the new film? Have you seen it?
I'm sorry, there's a new film. There was only ever Road Warrior.
I think Road Warrior was good, but I really do think it's brilliant, and I admire George for rebooting the whole series and going into another trilogy. I think there is a freshness about it. I think the fact that he's recast so many of those characters sort of consolidates that freshness. And as I said earlier on, in the previous movies, gasoline was the great product that everybody was fighting over. And this time it's water. If you recognise the environment during that whole chase sequence, they're looking for the green country or the green land or whatever it is. And they don't find it because it's all dried up. And that's his preoccupation right now is climate.
As a spectacle, it was probably the most amazing film ever shot. The costuming, the vehicles, the whole setup of that film was brilliant. It was George Miller to a T. Nobody can duplicate anything that George does. He does it way too well. To go in and watch, it was mind-blowing. I only have one question. How many lactating women does it take to fill a semi-trailer with milk? That is basically the end of the session. Okay.
I think it was suddenly I'm really guessing, but it must have been somewhat challenging for George to, after so many years, after 30 years, to reboot it. Knowing that the most popular film of the trilogy was Road Warrior, Mad Max 2, out of the three. So of course, if he's going to begin again, where does he begin? Does he honor Mad Max 2? Does he take it from 3? Does he invent a whole new beginning to it? And I think he did it justice. I think he did it very thoughtfully, carefully, and brilliantly, and brought it into the modern era. I think it was absolutely extraordinary. He didn't concentrate too much on special effects. I don't know that we had any special effects in Road Warrior. Did we have special effects? It was very minimal, and as far as I know, Fury Road was reasonably minimal with special effects as well. It was just raw adrenaline, and that's what we love about, that's one of the things we love about Mad Max. So I think he did it justice, he did a terrific job.
But for me, Road Warrior is number one. Like it's like you can only paint Mona Lisa once, right? After that it becomes a copy. Remember, all these films are from the mind of George Miller, and without him we wouldn't be up here. I mean, the great thing about filmmaking, it's a collaborative act. Without the director, without the Norma Morrison, who's now passed on, bless her heart, who designed all the costumes, without Terry Hayes, the man who wrote the script, along with Byron Kennedy, who has also passed on, the partner of the George Miller franchise. Without those folk on the other side of the camera, we wouldn't be up here, and we owe them that.
Yeah, just ending that on Fury Road. I went to the premiere in Sydney, and I remember coming out. I rang my mate who's building an interceptor for me, and he said, "What was it like? What was it like?" And I said, "Mate, it was like watching a 2-hour trailer. It was just action-packed from start to finish, in your face. And I did an interview the next day on Sydney radio, and I said I've got to watch it again to actually fully comprehend really what happened. Mind-blowing film, and just brilliant. Yeah.
Great, thanks. I've got one more question, but for anyone in the audience who has a question, go ahead and line up by this gentleman right here in the yellow shirt, and then we'll take your question after I go. All right, this question is actually for Bruce. In Mad Max 2, you played the Gyro Captain, and in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, you played Jedediah. And there are a lot of similarities and parallels between those characters. But according to George Miller, apparently those are two separate characters. Was it odd for you to play those, or how did you feel about that?
It certainly wasn't odd. It was great to get the job. That's the way he presented it to me, that they were separate roles. And I was hoping to create something different, but I guess I am me, and the way and also the Road Warrior was so stamped in people's minds. I guess when they saw my performance in Mad Max 3, they just kept thinking of the gyrocopter pilot. But I treated them both quite differently.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll start with some audience questions.
We touched on the impact Mad Max has had and like what we're doing now, but to take that a step further, you may have heard of a certain event called Wasteland Weekend, where fans literally gathered in the desert, no phones, no lights, no motor cars, in a literal celebration of the Mad Max world. Would you like to comment on that amount of madness, craziness, and that amount of dedication from the fans?
I've actually been twice. I went to the second one, and then I went last year again. It's actually amazing to go out into the middle of the desert and find all these idiots that have built a whole town, and they're dressed in all the costumes, and they are so serious about everything. I actually did a photo shoot, and one of the gentlemen standing on the stage here, his girlfriend, was my guard. And she stood behind me, and I couldn't break her. I can break anybody. She would not, but she never smiled, she never moved, she just stood there staring at me, and she would raise one eyebrow slightly like, "Fuck you." And it was just, I was like, this is so insane. I'm out here with all these people in the middle of the desert playing Mad Max. There's also two of them. I've done the other one, which is up in Arizona, where they have it out in the Red Rock country, which is similar, and it's just insane. It really is. It's totally insane. And I believe that Virginia was with me at the first one, and they actually got me to stand on a bus and bare my ass.
We dared him and he did it.
Don't even think about it. Not one of you do not even think about it.
I will be there next year.
I'd love to go again. Would you both?
Yeah, I'm in.
We're all in. Invite us. You have to bring us from all over the world, though.
Yeah, I reckon I'd be there. I've been invited. Maybe.
All right, our next audience question.
How you doing? First, thank you for making my summer in 6th grade phenomenal. This was like my movie of 6th grade, me and my friend. Fortunately, he didn't make it here today, but this was our movie of the summer of 81, 82. One question, if you're okay. I forgot to give me your name.
Emil.
Emil. You did that backflip, that was you?
For those that were at the screening last night, I had to shock everyone and say, actually, yeah, I did. No, I didn't. I actually didn't. It was the only stunt in the film that I didn't do. It was a local girl from Broken Hill. Her name was Melissa, and she was a gymnast. and they dressed her up exactly like me, to the point where even before one of the takes, they mixed us both up. We both looked like identical. And yeah, she was the one that did the backflip, but unfortunately, as she did the backflip, she only did one attempt, and she'd actually busted a lip on the 44-gallon drum that was the hole under the ground, and yeah, that was her. So, but all the other stunts I did, but yeah, probably the most common question I get asked is, did you do the backflip? But sorry, man, I didn't.
And one last question. Lord Humongous's crew or the Toe Cutters crew, who would win? We would cream their little butts, the little pussies.
Hello. Like we have said before, we graciously thank you for giving us your presence after 35 years. I was born in 1996, so I did not get to see the second Mad Max or the first or the third, but I did get to see Fury Road, which I thought was phenomenal, and like you said, George Miller, his brilliant mind, did rejuvenate the series. Also with Fury Road, it also sparked controversy, as people said Furiosa was more dominant of a character than Mad Max himself, which people took offense to. What is your personal stance on that subject?
All of us?
Yes.
Well, that was that person's private opinion. That's actually not my opinion. My personal opinion is that she did an incredible job, and she showed a marvelous strength. George was an innovator. There was one, as far as my character is concerned, there was only one other warrior that existed on film, as far as I know, and that was Sigourney Weaver in Aliens. And then and then I was the next warrior on film. And there's been several since then, but he took that to a whole other level with Charlize Theron. I think it was magnificent. I loved what she did. I loved that she had power. I loved that there was a lot of girl power in that movie. And he's very much of the time, he knows what's going on in the world, and that throughout the years, females have been maneuvering themselves in order to have some kind of a sense of equality, and I think that reflected in his movie. I personally think it was marvelous. I enjoyed it a great deal. Who knows what's going to happen with the next one? Bruce would probably know.
I don't really, but remember there's two more movies to come, and I think we're in for a long story. If you got the first episode of, say, Lord of the Rings or many of these other great franchises, you might very well be misled with what was to follow. So I just say watch this space, but I've got no idea what's going to happen. But I know George, and Virginia's correct. He's a very prescient man. He's looking to the future. I think part of his wanting to reboot the Mad Max series was to bring in a very strong woman into the storyline. But I have no doubt that Max is going to feature very strongly in the future.
Isn't Fury Road the middle one or the end one? It's not the first one. Because it's Furiosa, the movie they're doing, that's before.
It's going to go back and forward, but well, it's like some of the Star Wars films. They made number 4 first, and then they went whether or not it goes back or forward, I think the next two movies in Max will be different from the first one, and the second one will be different from the third one, etc. So I just watched the space. I'll tell you what he will do. He'll surprise me.
Anyone else? Any more audience questions?
I'm going to give myself an answer question. You're not that lazy.
Alright, here comes another one.
Just want to know, after you guys get the movie, you guys look at the wow, my head shakes. You know, mobile, all these like tight clothes that you're wearing. It's like, wow, this is great.
Actually, my head was shaved a month before we started doing the film. Because my head had to get used to the sun, because you get awfully sunburned once you take your hair off. And you've got to remember that in that time period, walking around the streets of any city, including Melbourne with a mohawk, was not quite the norm. So I had to get used to being picked up by the cops every 7 minutes for something. But I actually, if I had my way, I probably wouldn't have done the movie because I was terrified of it. And I never saw a costume until I was in Sydney for a costume fitting, and they wouldn't let me see it. They shaved my head, put the costume on me. All I could see was the front and where my coat piece was. And they walked me over to George Miller's office and took me in. And I think Bruce and Virginia would know this about George. He has a great way of talking to you if you're saying something he doesn't care about. And then I walked into his office and I said, I really don't think I can do this film, George. And he went, And I said, no, seriously. And he went, And he said, can you turn around so I can see my costume? So I went, oh, okay. So I turned around and I got their ass. And I said, I don't think I can do a movie. He went, And he said, turn back. And as I turned back, there's a full-length mirror on the wall, and all I saw was his character in the full-length mirror, and it scared the living shit out of me. And he went, that'll work.
I wasn't born here, and I like to show my body, and to walk around without clothing in front of all those people is great. What do you do?
Also, a lot of actors, children, we love to dress up, we love to play make-believe, so it's the biggest thrill to get to play those kinds of characters. We absolutely end up. Got nothing to say. No problem.
Yeah, as far as my costume goes, I didn't really put it on and put myself in that. It's sort of crazy. But what I did do is I got straight into character because I said I was quite feral as a kid anyway, so they were all pretty wild. So my costume suited me perfectly, except it was freezing cold, and I came up with the idea to put on Ugg boots and then wrap skin around them just so they get me warm. But I had a great time on set in my costume because I could get dirty. It didn't worry me. I was, I could just play around, and I wouldn't be able to continuity. So for now, I had a great time on my costume. Yeah, good question.
Did you get the prop of
Yeah, look, there were 3 boomerangs made for the film. There was the one that you saw throw in after I killed his boyfriend. The blood and you see me show it off to Mel. That was the sort of pretty much polished one. Then there was another one that had some holes drilled in it, and because the scene where I caught them, and they were trying to throw a wooden one at me to catch it, and I couldn't catch it, so they had some holes drilled in it and some fishing line down to them over, landed on the boom, and I just pressed the button, it just spun around and directed it into my hand. So that was the one I got to get Kennedy, the producer who's passed by here since then. He gave it to me on my last day. The third boomerang was a wooden one back in the alfoil. That was the one you see flying around in the air. So I've got the stunt one, the original one, the one with the polish. That's up in the museum in Silverton, that's up in the museum. And most of the alfoil one is up.
Any other audience questions? Here's a question for Virginia. What was it like pointing a live bow and arrow at Mel Gibson's head?
Well, I know it sounds extraordinary, but first we didn't even think of it. I mean, nobody on the set, behind the scenes, or in the cast, no one thought about it really. I just had literally a live bow and arrow, a metal arrow. It was a real compound bow. I could kill him easily. only reason towards the like halfway through that they changed the middle, I won't call it string, what's it called, the middle,
The
tension wire. They changed that to rubber only because it's like a 30-pound pullback and I had to hold it back so much when I was aiming at Bill and aiming at other people. And my arms used to be shaking, it was hurting. So the proxy pump, they changed it to a rubber. And I was only halfway through, so I did half a minute when a live weapon pointed at Melvin's head. And so you think about it, it wasn't until 20 years later someone at a convention said, oh wow, look, there's so many photos of you, pointing this arrow in his head. Don't tell me it was alive. Surely it wasn't live. Actually, it was. So, yeah, that's extraordinary, but it's true.
Question for Bruce. In the movie, you're introduced jumping out of the sand. And I'll get. What do you remember about that experience of being buried in the sand?
Well, that was the first scene I shot in the whole movie. I guess it's good because that's the sequence. We had a number of goes at that because they buried me too deep. And as you can see, I had to get that pretty fast. And I couldn't move, I couldn't lift all this sand off my body. So we had to make a little shot. And I had one of those, what do they call it, those tuba, little plastic breathing apparatus to breathe under this sand. It was fun, except also on the first one I couldn't hear because of the sound. When you're buried in sand, you can't hear much. But, and they understand the camera, so special effects, so it looks like I'm coming out pretty fast. But George had all that in mind. I couldn't figure out how he was going to make this look so spectacular, and he did. And I was really blown away when I saw it all coming together. It really worked. But you had the best costume was all. Sorry? You had the best costume was all. Right? The man I told you was in the morning, and I saw your little fellow John Jones and his pink shoes, right? Oh, you keep me warm. I was brilliant. This is winter up there in the desert country. There's been a desert in the middle of winter. It's cold. It hasn't been that cold for 120 years for all. I was down there without clothing. Like everybody said, wasn't it nice? Desert, sun, hot, everything like that. -1, I looked out and I saw the frost on the grass, and I'm going to put that costume I had on, right? The only thing I said, right, we didn't take was, oh shit. And the scared from all the birds asked me, what they said, oh shit. And I said, take the bird, I'm going to do something. I must say, that first scene, country of the sand, when you begin a movie like that, you're still finding the character, and even coming out on the sand and all that, don't hurt the snake and mixing the man so fast as that and all that kind of stuff. I've been snake before, all that kind of stuff. It's gradually through that scene my character has grown, and it's a relationship between myself and Mal has been established. And that more than anything was where I created the character. And it's where also it's very much like a Western. And it's the world in which I've started to find myself. It was like shooting a Western.
We've got about 5 more minutes. Looks like we get a couple more audience questions.
This question is for everyone. When you're filming your film, what are your fondest memories, either on or off screen, about it?
Yeah, my fondest memory was the moment George Miller said, cut that shit, piss off. Just kidding. My fondest memory was Mel Gibson, believe it or not. He turned up in my motel room in a tatty old bathrobe, wearing a pair of bunny slippers, because his phone didn't work and he wanted to ring his wife, who had just given birth to his first child. And I thought that was the most amazing sight I'd seen on the set, from beginning to end, was Mel Gibson in bunny slippers.
the most memorable thing for me was the hamburger shop. Now, on our day off on a Sunday, everybody congregated. Broken Hill's not a big city. It's a mine town, it's a very small city. You know, there's not a lot going on Sunday morning, but that was our day off, and we walked into this fantastic hamburger shop. I don't know if everybody ever been to that. Now, are you familiar with beetroot? The red dark beetroot. They used to have hamburgers with beetroot, and it was a nice beet. Anyway, it was a real meal with potato fries that were big and chunky, and great milkshakes. But everybody used to congregate there, and we just used to socialise. That was taken on me. I loved the shoot. I loved working in front of the camera. But that was the good times out there. That's when you got to talk to all the guys behind the camera operators, all the set designers, all those people that you hardly see when you're performing in front of the camera. It was great. It was a real lot of camaraderie that was going on there. That's when you're reminded that you're a part of a big team. One of my memories was like when I trained, it was Crew Hop, Kevin Hop, one of the most famous bushmaker in Britain. And he had their settings in the private art gallery. And I trained up in his gym. And I bought all the motorbike. I took Dawn Kennedy's girlfriend around and showed her around, right? And then I went in one Nick and one Mr. Sim. I come back with a wooden trophy and I said, "Here's you, Kevin." I said, "Bro, you can have it without training with you." And he said, "Wait," he said, "I'm going to paint on it for you." So he gave me an original Pro Art paint. And I still have it right there. It's definitely worth a lot of money, but the memory of it is fantastic. Right? It's a blessing.
I have a memory, and it's got to do with Vernon. I remember flying into Broken Hill for the very first time. I just found out I got the job, and I had to be in say on a Wednesday, and jumping in a little plane that was not a jet propelled plane, it was a plane. And I think it was just under 20 seconds and landing on a dirt strip and getting into a four-wheel drive and going off to what I thought was the hotel. I wasn't sure what Broken Hill was like. I thought we were going to New City. As we were driving along, there's nothing for as far as the eye can see. It's like red dirt everywhere. Really beautiful, stunning landscape. Tumbleweeds, it's about it. Yeah. And so the next thing we see is just a small up front, and the four-wheel drive had to stop. And the driver said, "Hey guys, I'm just going to stop and wait for this to separate." So and we're looking at this thing, and the smoke, this dust storm is coming closer and closer and closer. And looking at this, and I saw suddenly I saw a figure in this dust storm, and we're still sitting in a car, backing towards us, and started bending over and walking backwards. I didn't see this bare butt. I'm thinking, what kind of town is this? This isn't or I didn't know when I've seen this guy in leather chaps with bare butt. Then I see a mohawk. I think it's the inhabitants of Broken Hill must be incredibly cool. I've never seen anything. I haven't seen any of the costumes. And actually it was playing Wales back in Ireland, the scene were actually on the set. And the dust storm was just a smoke machine. So I thought that was my first memory. Anyway, thinking of the dust storm being actually affected the smoke on the set. But it was nothing out of it.
Right, we're going to wrap it up here pretty soon.
And he has a hot, like, freshly baked loaves of bread. He's waiting for me to 2 freshly baked round loaves of bread. Chunky little round but cheap like this.
Yeah, going off the fond memories. I'm gonna add to something similar to back at the cafe. Was it Kookaburra Cafe? Yeah. in this is the day where you want to see him on the back of the truck and the master Marauder, the big Marauder, he's on the back of the truck. I'm hitting with the shotgun and his arm. That was Guy Morris, stuntman. Now previously he'd broken his leg, so he was in Plaza when he did that stunt where he hits the button and flies over. So he's on that scene on that truck, taking he's got a blast on him. In that day, we all went into town. The Kookaburra Cafe, and I said, he said, I'm going to go in and play a prank on the guy behind the bar. And he said, just follow my lead. So we go in, and we walk in there and we order a smoothie, and he starts an argument with me. He starts yelling at me, he starts grabbing me, gets me in a headlock, and starts kicking me into the bar. And I get into the bar. And he's using his plaster cast. And the guy behind the bar started freaking out. He's going, leave the kid alone, leave him alone. And we both burst into laughter, and that was a great prank. And that's one of the memories that sticks out in my head.
Can I just say that thing? I think the one thing that we're all forgetting is that sitting on the stage is one reason why that film was so successful. 35 years later, most of us haven't seen each other for that long. Every one of us is sitting here, we're like old friends, we all love each other. And that's what the movie was about, and that's why it's so bloody good. It's right here.
How to wrap this up. Just to finish this off, if you would just
Right in the face with the sword. Guys, right? I get tears in my eyes. I'm so that wrong.
Humor us, it would mean a lot to us, I think, if you could just recite a couple of words from the film.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Anyone remember, you do it my way. Fear is my ally.
I like to think of the line, so
This fight for belief, I stay.
You and me, we're pop.
Thank you guys for joining us. That's it. We're going to stage. Thanks, guys. Have a great time.
Everyone's going with their, there's
passengers.
like a whole bunch of stuff going on. You have to eat, etc.
There's
And
plenty
they
of things
tour the
going
same show at night, so that helps solve that problem.
Yeah. Can't catch the early one because you got a dinner reservation. You should catch the later one.
Or the dinner reservations, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's our disembarking. Let's see if we can get the video to show. I don't know if we can. I'm like, come on. I want this to play so badly. Alright, here we go.
Oh, yeah, I know that spot.
Top of the ship.
Oh.
Top deck. And here's like what it looks like from an upper deck of the ship. And like you can sort of see in the background, this is what port looks like.
Yeah.
If you're leaving port also, and people waving by a cruise ship. I think that's a pretty fun people watching spot. Is like for a port seeing cruise ships leave off. There's footage of the port leaving off.
Yeah. Embarkation, what else? I don't remember. I was looking for something, I forgot what it was.
The show, Sail Away show.
I'm playing of that. I'm trying to remember which. What was it?
Library?
Oh yeah, the library. I'm way in the wrong part of the timeline on this phone. Totally near the end.
And these videos aren't playing. It's so laggy.
Did I delete the thing?
Here's some of the embarkation show in mini vision. Oh yeah, and then we also went under the Lionsgate Bridge in Vancouver. That was
that was a
cool.
cool moment, yeah.
That was
I
a
got
nice
my
moment.
shot of that. That was really awesome that they did that.
If you leave
stuff like that, like just because you're a captain, like you know, it's a great thing to see on a ship.
Yeah.
You have
When we were on, if you're in San Francisco, you go under the Golden Gate Bridge, which is a cool thing.
I found it. The Woo by Lindsay Wong, How I Survived Ice Hockey, Drug Raids, Demons, and My Crazy Chinese Family.
How do I look that up?
You just typed it all in.
The
Lindsay Wong, I guess. Or no. Yeah, Star Trek Next Generation book there. Total Film Guide 2008.
This was one. So this is one of the books
on the ship. I think it was released 2018. Yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. This is very interesting.
Pretty intense.
Yeah.
BFA in creative writing from the University of British Columbia,
Yeah.
and an MFA in literary nonfiction from Columbia University in New York City.
Well, that's really cool. And
she knows what she's doing.
Well, unfortunately, she's probably a number starving artist. Unfortunately.
Probably, yeah. She has 3 books and 141 followers.
They're all really good, though. Yeah.
This book has 2,697 ratings. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
422
so I guess like
reviews.
There's been that many sales at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Some people like giving reviews of books they haven't read.
They bought the book with someone else.
What was this? I don't even remember this book. This is the first day.
Was it Salmon Eggs or something?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, those were good.
In the dining room.
It's
It's just a footage of the ocean. I thought
that was good to have.
I always feel like that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we have balcony for.
Right.
I don't think it was like school. Oh, that's like that's not the balcony. That's just on the side of the ship.
Yeah, there's a specific dock where you can see this.
It's really cool. You just stream it on a window and then you put it on the YouTube.
Just Google Photos.
Google Photos is pretty good.
And like I think it's leveraging their technology they use for
Marvel receiver.
Arthur Trace. There's Mika. Oh, I thought we were not supposed to use names. My bad. But yeah.
I think they're fine. Like,
Great people.
Come on. Well, these guys, they need the exposure.
Very entertaining.
Legit, like, well, he's from the same, what was it, the Magic Castle or whatever?
Yeah, he was at the Magic Castle and he got like some awards for manipulation.
Yeah.
And he had very good dexterity.
He won America's Got Talent or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Very,
yeah.
You should, if he's never gotten a gig at Vegas, you should not get one, yeah.
Yeah, we saw
way
two
better
of
than
his
David Copperfield.
We saw 2 of his shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Do you see 2 total or 2 different nights?
2 different nights, and both of those shows were different.
We didn't watch
shows.
back to back each night.
I think those are 2. Those are 2 nights
2
apart.
or 4.
2 of him?
Yeah.
2.
Oh yeah.
I saw 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, here's the champagne pouring.
Yeah. That was a big thing. They emphasized that as a cool thing on a cruise.
Yeah, man, Neo Funk was here for all the things in the piazza.
They were always very busy. It was a working person's gig. Great windows. I guess, like, even if you didn't want them to be clean, you want them to be like so people can see through the window and see what's outside.
Here's our balcony view.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't see anybody. We're not trying to show. Here's me goofing around.
Yeah.
Wow, that's what I look like? You deal with that every day?
No comment.
Oh, here's the kitchen.
Yeah. Really good shot.
And you can see, like, there's this central area that, like, goes out to all different parts of the outer buffets.
They cook from the center and then they distribute the rest of the buffet.
Let me see if I can show how that looks. Like, so, yeah. Yeah, I guess it would be something like over here.
Okay.
Where, like, here's, like, the seating areas in the food court.
Yeah.
Here's the buffets.
Yeah.
And then in the middle here is, like, the cooking station where they separate it out. So, like, this buffet, that buffet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What am I doing here? And, let's see. Man, it's all laggy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, anyway, you get the idea. We're coming up to port here in Juneau, I believe.
Juneau was fun. Juneau and BC, great artist scene. I didn't know people had their own galleries and set it up. That's really cool to me.
Yeah, here's Juneau.
And they had that, that's a gift shop. They also had, like, this 90s place where they had, like, these 90s Tigers of electronic toys and, like, connects, which is pretty cool. That we got footage of, I think.
I think that was literally because that was a gift shop that still had inventory all the way from the 90s.
That's sort of cool to me. Oh yeah, Alaskan salmon, Alaskan jerky, Alaskan chocolate. Yeah, that's the perfect shot of that. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah,
there'll be some gold gimmicks.
They really want to get you to buy this stuff.
Yeah.
Support the local industry. I mean, it's local goods, you know. It's local.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Here's the gold bubble gum.
Oh.
Gold nugget bubble gum. Along with the.
I would say. Would you say it's more than a gift shop over there?
I don't know. There's. I don't know. Like. Do you know what? I've been to Alaska.
I feel like New York City gift shops aren't nearly as cool as that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I thought it was.
There's just
cool.
like a bunch of generic "I love New York" signs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Disneyfication of the wildlife merchandise.
I honestly thought I should have gotten these glasses. They were only like $20.
Oh yeah, Little Manila.
Yeah, here's the Filipino Community Center.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, there's I remember in one of my old jobs, I learned that there's a strong Tagalog speaking community in
That's what I say,
Alaska. I think it's something like that.
That sounds about right, yeah.
And
oh, this is the Fudge Shop, right?
oh yeah, Fudge Shop.
Postcard art gallery.
And then oh yeah, here's the art gallery.
Phenomenal, like support your local artists. Make sure they can keep their own booths. Well, these are like photographs, which are pretty cool.
The funding goes directly to the artists.
Which probably even tag like who these people are.
It's an artist gallery and artist collective. Here's Marty Sharp. Oh man, I think I'm missing some of the uploads, but oh well. Here's just like
somewhere where a rock slide might have been.
A waterfall in the distance, and luckily the iPhone camera has so much zoom.
Yeah. Juneau actually got out of. I didn't leave too often, but like Juneau, we did. Oh, and it was raining that day, which
yeah, our jackets were soaked.
Yeah, I remember. Alaska, prepare for the snow, prepare for the rain.
Yeah.
One of them was like the worst spot. Like every day it rains. I don't know why it's still the tourist destination.
They told us Ketchikan was like one of the rainiest places in Alaska, but like it wasn't
that
even
was
that
actually pretty good now.
It actually wasn't that rainy. It was like really overcast, but like yeah, even like when I talked to a local, he just starts saying, "Oh, this is one of the nicest days of the year," because like it's like raining most of the time. So
Salmon capital of the year also. Salmon capital of the world also.
Yeah,
the tram. There's
the salmon ladder. We didn't see the salmon.
We didn't go on the tram. I guess tram over there. A lot of tourist traps. 20 citizen shops probably there. Lots of giveaways for free jewelry.
Yeah.
There's an ice cream shop over there too. Maybe capturing that. It's a shame I didn't delete or update my phone early enough. I think I had some problems with like using no Wi-Fi using the phone on the ship. I didn't know about that. Like, oh, that guy, former politician, pretty down to earth guy. Not necessarily on the same whatever, but like, he seemed relatable. He seemed like somebody that's not doing this.
I don't necessarily agree with all his stances, but like he seems like a pleasant enough guy.
Yeah, and he seemed open-minded. He didn't seem like he wanted to. He would mention it, but he won't be like overly whatever. Like I don't think he'd try to rock your vote. Also, he used to be a politician, so
he wouldn't be like in your face with certain things. Yeah. And it was also like a kind of folksy.
He's very corny.
Yeah,
he's very corny. I picture him with a big bow tie and stuff. But he's not very intimidating or anything.
He literally sounds like he's someone from the 1850s or something like.
Like one of the nice people, not like one of those. I just feel like a Red Dead Redemption vibe for like some like the cowboy taverns and stuff. Like other than that, like this guy felt like a pleasant guy from the 1850s.
Yeah.
Like, he's not like
he's
on
not
a string guitar.
He's not there to like beat a drum and like get in your face with things. Like he would mention some points about like certain politicians a little bit, make allusions to it, but like he wouldn't like I don't know, say like amazing.
He would accept your view too. Which
yeah,
is cool,
yeah. So yeah, he played it both ways, and I thought that was like pretty elegant of him.
Yeah.
But
there's not a lot of elegant talks about politics anymore. So,
yeah.
And that's pretty good at that.
I think this video is like too long because I recorded.
Right.
Yeah, I probably should show that. Because it's like from the talk, but yeah. Maybe reels.
Yeah, good word for the so everyone can watch.
Colin Barkel.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Lisa Lottie.
Really talented magician and
hula hoop artist.
And contortionist or whatever.
And contortionist. I wish we got to see more of her. But
she was supposed to be there a lot longer, but she wasn't.
She did a lot of time slots that we didn't get to see.
It was a shame. Like she's really talented and has a whole lot of people salad, so I really get to see her.
Yeah, I think other piazzas on Jesus Cruises tend to have more.
So the whale thing.
Hey, shout out Jesus Happy. Yeah, let's get into it.
So the whales. We didn't see them on the cruise. We saw them on the ferry in British Columbia to Victoria or whatever. And that was pretty cool. There's like... Actually, there's more than one whale, right? I didn't know to see them... That... I guess the ship went far. Like, I didn't think we would be able to see whales that close to land.
Yeah,
I think they'd be in the middle of the ocean or something.
There was a moment where I was with someone from the RPG group.
Yep.
The Tabletop RPG group. We'll get to that later, but I was with someone there, and like there was a bunch of crowd people in like the side of the ship, and they're like, "Oh, I think we see a whale." Everyone started gathering near the windows, and then we gathered there too. We're like, "What's happening?" And then like someone's like, "Oh, is that the whale? We just saw something flapping in the water." It's like, "Is that a rock? Do we think it's a whale or a rock?" And then so we may have seen a whale, we may not have.
We don't see one on the Victoria, British Columbia.
Yeah, we saw it on the British Columbia Ferry.
I see like 3 of them actually.
Yeah, but we did not see a whale
on the cruise.
We did not have 100% confirmed from watching a whale on the cruise.
When they advertise that you'll see a whale on the cruise, you probably won't see a whale on the cruise. It's not guaranteed, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
if you buy a whole cruise, you're gonna see a whale.
Yeah.
No.
There's also like whale watching excursions you go on off the cruise and like buy tickets, but like it's not guaranteed if you'll see a whale or not.
It's like fishing, you know, like you're starving, but like you still don't know you're gonna see a fish.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah. And then here's Lisa Lottie doing a routine with this guy.
I don't really remember. I remember. Yeah.
I don't really remember where this goes. Like, I think I left before I got to see where the end result is.
She does all the magic, and he just was totally clueless how to do that stuff.
She's just pressing this horn on cue. I think this is more of an audience interaction kind of bit here, rather than like a performance bit here. Like, yeah, he's pressing the horn, and then she's like, "Oh no, that horn's no good. They can't hear that. So let's get out something more special, folks." So she puts that away. She pulls something else out, and it's like a rubber chicken or something like that. So yeah, this was some food. Oh, yeah, this was the glaciers. The glaciers. These people were in the way. I had no choice. I don't know who they are, so yeah, that's fine enough. There's a mountain. That was a beautiful view. You just got a lot of see a lot of like beautiful sights at random moments. Like, it'd be kind of impossible to just constantly record all the things you're seeing. But like, there's also a lot of seeing nothing at the same time. Other times, so you're just surrounded by this beauty at some times, and then just surrounded by ocean at other times. Like even on like you look at the dash cams here, like the bridge cams. Like you go here, like here's a bridge cam right now, right from the Ruby Princess. Yeah. Bound for Juneau, Alaska. Yeah. It's just ocean. You don't see anything. Let's see what some of these other ones. Let's see the Sun Princess. Bound for Istanbul. It's night time. It's all dark. The Grand Princess. More ocean than some land. You know. Let's see what else we got here. Crown Princess. Ocean. Diamond Princess. Oh, it's Aomori, Japan.
That might be like the 15-day cruise where you just see all Japan that way.
Oh, that's cool.
That would be something cool that useless happy want to do.
Wow, Diamond Princess. That sounds fun.
Yeah, those Asian cruises are pretty cool. You see so much in a couple days.
Wow, that might be fun.
Yeah.
See Majestic Princess. Outside. Oh, this one's already outside Juneau, Alaska. So, like, did they just line up all these cruise ships?
Yeah, it's like setting up rides on a theme park, yeah.
Wow.
Or setting up trains on the DA.
So this one's alongside Juneau, Alaska right now. Regal Princess, Royals. This one's alongside Skagway. Wow.
Skagway, right? I forgot.
This one's alongside Juneau, Sapphire Princess. Sky Princess is bound for Southampton. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you're seeing, a lot of stuff you're not seeing, because it's 24 hours and it's always moving and stuff. So yeah, so sometimes you're surrounded by incredible beauty, sometimes you're just surrounded by ocean. So yeah, oh yeah, and does this have any footage of the Northern Lights at all? Or is it just random people walking around feeling disappointed?
That's it.
Yeah, I remember hearing somebody say that for
That's
one
all
of these
the
clips.
That's all the clips.
Oh yeah, that's it. So we can see it. Oh, I think we see it a little bit. People freaking out over like the faintest color green.
Yeah.
You see it a little bit. People recording something. I don't see anything. There's a little bit of green. You see it? You see it, folks? It's the Northern Lights. And it was pretty cool because, like, in the middle of the night, like, just as we're about to doze to sleep at like 12 a.m. Local time, then we hear the captain of the ship announce over a general announcement, like, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Northern Lights." Yeah, we see the Northern Lights a little bit in this clip here. It's this, and you can't even tell from this video what's happening exactly. Like, is this a glitch of the camera? Like, so this is our first glimpse of the Northern Lights. Really hard to see at all what's going on, really. I see something. And then I zoom out and you don't see anything at all. It's only when you zoom in into the black and it's all digitally processed and stuff.
There it is. And then it's gone.
And I'm zooming out again, zooming in.
There it is. Again.
And it looks like a green cloud, gas cloud or something from this video.
Probably is. Like it's sort of helium, and then the lights bounce off it or whatever.
Apparently, they don't exactly know what causes the Northern Lights 100%. They know it's related to the solar wind. They know
It's the artful deceiver that causes the Northern Lights.
They know it's related to photons of some kind interacting with the atmosphere. They don't exactly 100% know what causes it. Yeah, they have records of it going back like hundreds of years and some artistic depictions.
If that's the case, then how do they know it's going to happen?
I mean, nowadays they have much better science for detecting when there's going to be... actually, yeah, that's a good question. How do they know? Did anyone fall off? That would be very dramatic. I don't believe that happened.
I don't believe so. If someone would like to correct us on that, feel free.
I don't think there was like a weird announcement where they asked for someone's name in the middle of the day during one day, and they said to call like a certain number, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's that about?" And like, but they didn't say what happened, so I don't think anything like that happened.
I just assumed that was like a GI thing or something.
Yeah, that might have been that. Should we? I mean, he's asking if anything dramatic like that happened. Should we just say that there was like a? I mean, that happened around this part of the cruise. Anyway.
So there's I guess we showed the news report about the week before.
They did say,
and not talk about like what happened on our cruise.
And I mean, even then, we don't know exactly what happened on our cruise either. They just told us a vague description of what happened, and that they were doing certain things and protocols, but they weren't really clear exactly what happened. So we gotta say something now, I guess. Like, I don't know.
I don't think we have to.
We don't have to, but like, I don't know. There's some stuff that happens where like they have to go under some like.
Oh, the show's been going on for a while, I guess.
Looks like we might be back.
Alright, give me a second.
Is there something like slowing me down?
Probably.
Nice. PR is working on our upload speed right now. with some of our bandwidth, so hopefully that helps improve our streaming quality. So yeah, let us know. Yeah, it seems like we've been dropping frames over the last 2 minutes or so, and that's been happening over for 2 hours. But yeah, let's see if it's better. Are we down again? Hey, all right. I can't lower resolution live on stream. I have to disconnect and then change the settings and then log back on. Let's see, what is the output right now? 2500 bitrate. Let me see. What is a too high bitrate for Twitch? Remember to have 0 to the maximum of 6,000. 2500. If you have more than 5 viewers, Twitch will lower quality options for those with weaker internet. 2500 to 3,000 was most people stream at until you get encoding options. Had it on mute. Pretty laggy. Dropped frames, 53 frames. 96 frames 3 minutes ago. Output 2500. Encoder software X264. Audio bit rate. Yeah, this computer should be fast. Drops frames 97% over the last 2 minutes. It was not connected on YouTube. It was only connected through Twitch. Oh, this bitrate is terrible. Should I stop uploading on my iPhone? Let's see. Is that helping things? Unstable. Stream health pill. Twitch, the main information. Audio and video requirements. Maximum bitrate is 6,000. For card games, talk shows, and illustrations, you can stream at 1500 kilobytes per second and still display a good-looking 720p broadcast. Constant bitrate versus variable bitrate. Twitch specifies using constant bitrate. Testing your bitrate. Testing your bandwidth. Is it still laggy? A few seconds ago, 98%. Alright, I guess I can lower the bitrate again. Wow, 66%. Lol, right? It's 9:15. It's pretty late already. Looks back. Sweet. Let me snooze the ad then and keep this going. Let's hurry up. Glacier Bay was beautiful. Just surrounded by constant beauty all around all the time. Yeah, just random ice on the water. Beautiful colored blue, green water. Here's the glaciers. Everyone's just gathered around in awe. Keep this going. Yeah, Glacier Bay. Now, I believe they said that it was hard to tell the scale of this from our distance, but this glacier is actually 40 stories high. So, like, imagine the 40th floor of a big skyscraper, and that's how big this glacier is. And yeah, and I don't know, yeah, I thought there's like all this beauty surrounding us, and then I thought this was an interesting moment where like we're seeing these two guys here. I discreetly took this photo of them, but I don't know, I thought it said something about this moment where how you could be surrounded by this beauty and then you know, just kind of living in this solitude there in that moment. So I thought that was an interesting moment that I felt like, you know, as we're like talking about all the glamour of cruises and stuff like that, there's still like, you know, all this like all these moments that are on a cruise that, you know, don't necessarily get seen, you know, in all the glamour of everything. So I thought that was a cool thing I want to capture as a photographer. Yeah, and here's the glaciers that they're watching, that I'm watching with them. It actually looks like it has a blueness to the ice here, like it's blue crystals in the from there. What is 40 stories? I need American metrics. How tall is 40 stories? 404 feet tall. 10 feet per story. Gowanus Lounge, Coney Island, Scale-O-Matic. Okay. Oh, these are the tallest buildings, I guess. Oh, jeez. What's this? Your house is 30 feet. Press and pray. Oh gosh. How tall is 100 stories? Trying to find an example here. Damn, that's tall, right? I think the connection's a little better now. Ooh. Dropped 44% over 2 minutes a few seconds ago. I don't know how much we can cut it down even further. Alright, that's tall. That's tall, right? So yeah, that's how big the glacier is. And